If you want cheap Microsoft points and game codes, check out g2a.com, link is in the description below. Hey guys, it's Melvin7 here, and today I'm bringing you my BPL predictions versus the Mystery C Matchday 29. Now, last week was a fairly good week for me. I clawed back a few points because I got the Spurs' second game, and the Arsenal result exactly right. I said 2-1 on both occasions, and that's what it finished. So yeah, the scores are 85 to me and 106 to the Mystery C. So he's still quite far ahead, but I think I can catch him. There's 10 games left. 10 fixtures left, so let's do this. Let's get straight into my predictions. In game 1, we've got Crystal Palace versus QPR. Now, this earlier in the season would have been a relegation battle, but thanks to Alan Pardew, Palace are basically safe in mid-table. QPR, on the other hand, really need a win, alright? They weren't that good, they weren't that good at Arsenal until Arsenal scored, and then they looked as though they might get back in it. A wonderful goal from Charlie Austin, but yeah, they definitely need to improve. But for me, I can't see that happening. Even though Palace haven't been great at home, they still look a better side than QPR. So at the minute, I'm going to say 2-1 Palace. In the next game, we've got Arsenal up against West Ham. Now, this is a big game. Arsenal obviously beat us in the FA Cup, but they've got a crunch match in the UCL where they've got a slim chance of overturning the 3-1 deficit to Monaco. Now, I think Arsene Wenger's going to prioritise that. Of course, then again, he might prioritise top 4. It's a difficult one to comprehend, but Oxlade-Chamberlain is injured for an undetermined amount of time. I think it's like at least 4 weeks. West Ham, on the other hand, I think I've only won 1 in 10. They're on a dreadful run of form, but that can change in this game, and honestly, I believe that Arsenal will either win very slim or it'll be a draw. Paul Merson believes Arsenal will win 3-0. I really can't see that happening. For me, I'm going to say 2-1 Arsenal, alright? I'm going to say they're going to nip it just, but it's not going to be an easy game whatsoever. In the next game, we've got Leicester up against Hull, another relegation contender. Now, Leicester have been so unlucky. They didn't deserve to lose against Man City. They were pretty good. Hull drew 1-1 with Sunderland in a game that they perhaps needed to win. Now, both sides haven't been great in terms of form. Leicester have looked good, but they haven't got the results. So, for me, it's Leicester at home, so I'm going to go with Leicester. I'm going to say 2-0 Leicester. In the next game, we've got Sunderland against Villa, another relegation 6-pointer there. Sunderland haven't been great. They drew with Hull, obviously, and Aston Villa beat West Brom twice, once in the league, one in the FA Cup, so their fans decided to pitch invade in the FA Cup because they got to the semi-finals. So, this is going to be an interesting game, and I reckon it's going to be too close to call. I reckon both sides will score. I reckon it's going to be 1-1. In the next game, we've got West Brom going up against Stoke. Now, this one's going to be a very good game tactically, because both will be set out to defend, in my opinion. Tony Pulis done wonders at West Brom. He's won Manager of the Month, I believe, this month. So that's fantastic for him. Stoke, on the other hand, did very well in the last game. I think they won that. I'm just verifying because I can't remember. Yes, they did. They beat Everton 2-0. Very good result there. It's going to be an evenly contested match. And again, I can't really pick them. I'm going to say 2-2. I reckon Peter Crouch will break Alan Shearer's headers record in this game. Little side note, I suppose. In the next game, we've got Burnley up against Manchester City. Now, Manchester City weren't great against Leicester. They lost 2-0. They weren't great against Barcelona. They lost 2-1. But, they seem to get the results. Burnley lost 2-0 to Liverpool, and they're going to be looking to, get out the relegation zone. Now, City aren't amazing, especially against lower league opposition. They seem to drop a few points against them, so this one could be a potential surprise. I don't think it's going to be easy, and I reckon City will win, but I reckon it's going to be a close game, and it will be 2-1 Manchester City. In the next game, we've got Chelsea up against Southampton, another big game there. Chelsea obviously being knocked out to the hands of PSG in the Champions League last 16, 2-2 draw. David Luiz scoring against his former club. Don't worry, Chelsea fans, I know how that feels with Danny Welbeck. And we went out in the FA Cup anyway. But Southampton haven't looked great. They haven't been able to score, but they got a vital win against Palace right at the end. Sadio Mane getting a really late goal there. And they won. On the other hand, Mourinho, he's going to fight goal out for the title, and I really can't see even Southampton trying to, stop it. So I reckon Chelsea will win. It won't be a demolition job, but it'll be fairly comfortable. I reckon 2-0. I'm going to say 2-0 Chelsea in that one, because even with that goal, Southampton I think have scored what 2 or 3 in the last 6 games or something like that. Anyway, in the next game we got Everton against Newcastle. Very interesting game. Now Everton, fantastic result against Dynamo Kiev, I believe 2-1. They should have won that by more. They were dominating, especially after Dynamo Kiev got the early goal. Newcastle on the other hand, we beat them 1-0, but they were pretty good defensively. It could have went either way in the league, and yeah, their season's effectively over. They can't do anything to go forward, really. They could finish in the top half, but I think they're like 5-7 points behind, and they're not going to get relegated. So it's going to be a boring season for Newcastle. Everton will be full of confidence. They may, be focusing on the Dynamo Kiev result. It's a really hard one to pinpoint. It's going to be really even, but I reckon Everton will pip it 1-0. In the next game, we got my team going up against Spurs. Man United versus Spurs. Now, the last time these sides met, it was 0-0, alright? Can you believe that? Like, honestly, Harry Kane and Eriksen, this was in December. They were still on fire, but Lloris was man of the match. De Gea had a great performance. Basically, that game was a game of two halves. We dominated the first half, and prior to the previous game that we played Southampton, where we had 2 shots and scored both of them, we had about 12, didn't score any of them. Lloris was fantastic, made great saves against Young and Falcao, and our finishing was poor. Falcao and RVP weren't the greatest in that game. Spurs, on the other hand, they've been fantastic. Obviously, we got beat by Arsenal and we beat Newcastle in the league, but Spurs have been great. They beat Swansea 3-2 in a very entertaining game. Harry Kane, 2nd month in a row that he's been voted player of the month, so we're going to have to really watch out with him, especially since Marcus Rojo looks as if he's going to be slightly injured. Now, the one thing I'm going to credit Louis van Gaal for, not many people seem to be crediting him for this at the minute, and that's sticking with 4-2-3-1. Now, I know Falcao was left on the bench and perhaps he shouldn't have been for Newcastle, but the one good thing is that Louis van Gaal did not change 4-2-3-1. It seems to work. As soon as our players start clicking, which has to happen in these run of games, it should work. It looks as though Rooney's going to be staying up front on his own, which works. Di Maria's ineligible. Young, I think, well actually no, he's not injured, so I reckon Young, Januzaj on the wings. Hopefully we play Mata instead of Fellaini. Rafael scored a wonder goal for the under-21, so hopefully he starts at right back. Now, I really want to win this, and I believe we can, but I'm going to say it's going to be a 2-2 draw, alright? I really hope I'm wrong. I really hope we win. I don't agree with Paul Merson. I don't think if we lose this, the top 4's over, because other teams have hard games as well. Yes, we have another 3 of the top 7 in our next 4 games after this, but I believe we can come through this run. But I'm going to say a 2-2 draw. I really hope I'm wrong, and I really hope we win. In the next game, the last game of the week, we've got Swansea going up against Liverpool. Now, Swansea been fantastic recently. They were unlucky against Spurs. It was a good, entertaining game, and yeah, they could have got something from it, but they didn't. Liverpool have been fantastic recently, alright? Yes, they were halted. Blackburn drew 0-0 at Anfield in the FA Cup, but their league form has been fantastic. Coutinho probably unlucky to not get Player of the Month this week ahead of Harry Kane. So yeah, it looks as though they're starting to build some form. I really hope Swansea can stop it, but I'm not going to go against Liverpool this game, unfortunately. I reckon it's going to be another entertaining game. I reckon 3-2 to Liverpool. So let's compare my results with the Mr. AC. So across the board we're fairly similar, just a lot of different scores. Palace I think will win 2-1, whereas he sees 3-1. Arsenal West Ham, we both think Arsenal will narrowly win 2-1. Leicester Hull, he thinks Hull will win 2-1, whereas I say Leicester 2-0. Sunderland, we both think will draw. He says 2-2 though, I say 1-1. West Brom Stoke, I reckon it's going to be 2-2, but he thinks West Brom will edge it in an entertaining 3-2 game. Burnley, I reckon, will lose 2-1, whereas he says 3-0 to Manchester City. Chelsea and Southampton, he thinks Chelsea will win 3-1, whereas I say 2-0. Everton, now this is a big shock, alright? I think Everton will win 1-0. He thinks Everton are going to smash Newcastle 4-0. Very interesting prediction there. Man United, I can't really go against him too much for saying that we're going to lose 3-1 though. I don't think that's going to happen. I've said 2-2 obviously, and I hope that we're both wrong and we actually go on a win, but we'll see what happens. Liverpool, we both think will win. He says 2-1, whereas I say a more entertaining 3-2. But anyway, let me know what your predictions are, and yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed, and peace.